The What Works Clearinghouse's Providing Reading Interventions for Students in Grades 4 through 9 Practice Guide provides evidence-based recommendations for supporting students' reading and writing development in intervention settings. In this video, you will see middle school students focusing on prosody in reading instruction. This practice is part of Recommendation 2, provide purposeful fluency-building activities to help students read effortlessly. Throughout the video, notice how I select thoughtfully from a variety of texts, model reading aloud, attending to punctuation, phrasing, tone of voice, and emphasis on certain words, and provide multiple opportunities to practice reading with prosody. Sometimes for prosody instruction, I use performance texts, which are texts that are meant to be read aloud for others to hear. These students are working on fluency at the sentence level. They are also building up stamina for longer stretches of reading. I will use a script I've developed for a dramatic reading of a novel, kind of like a reader's theater text, and I'll assign each student a part. It has some short and long sentences. There are also some short paragraphs. This will be engaging for the students to listen to each other as the dramatic tension builds. As they become more familiar with the text and rehearse the lines again and again, they are rereading meaningfully, which helps build prosody. So as we're reading, we need to be thinking about how the author really wanted us to sound in order for us to enjoy this mystery, right? And if it's a mystery, you can kind of get the sense that it's a little spooky, right? This scene takes place at night, and the Hardy Boys are actually trying to catch a thief in this one, all right? Yeah, so think about how that might feel if you were trying to catch a thief. What we're going to do is I want you to listen to yourself as you read, and we're going to think about how certain words can go together, what words should be a little bit louder, what words might be softer, depending on what's happening in the text. And I also want us to think about how that reading is going to be really smooth. So I'm going to give you an example and show you what that looks like. I'm going to read the part for Reader 1, and I want you to notice where the periods are in that first part with Reader 1, okay? So everybody put your finger at the Reader 1 part, and this is my turn. I want you to scan ahead, just like me, and I notice that there's a period at the end of the, after the word failure. I'm scanning ahead, I notice that's where the period is, and I'm going to read all the way to that period. The Hardy Boys were not discouraged by this failure. My voice goes down, the idea is over. The next idea is way longer. Where's that next period?
The very end of the period.
Yeah, the very, very end. Put your finger under that last period. It wraps all the way down, all right? So notice that my voice is not going to go down until I get to that period. They realized that it was too much to hope for success in their venture. At the first trial and resolved to lay their trap again. I'll read it again smoothly. Go back to the beginning of that sentence, that uppercase letter. You found it very quickly. They realized that it was too much to hope for success in their venture at the first trial and resolved to lay their trap again.
This time they went to another parking place not far from the spot where Isaac Fussy's automobile had been stolen.
Again, they turned out the lights. Again, they crawled into the locker at the back. And again, they remained in hiding while car after car went by on Shore Road.
All right, come back together, and Reader 1 is going to read that part again. In fact, before we do that, Reader 3, I want you to go back and read this again and think about how this character feels. How are they going to sound? Okay?
My legs are so cramped, I don't think I'll ever be able to walk straight again.
You did some really good problem solving while you were reading, and we were also thinking about how we were supposed to sound. There are parts where the narrator is telling the story out loud, and then there are parts where there's dialogue going on. Can you show us a part where you adjusted your voice so it sounded just like the character talking?
It was right here.
Tell us all where to go. Use your words and use the words on the page.
It's at the third to the bottom on the first page. And
What does it say?
it says coming this way, whispered Frank.
Yeah, and I heard you automatically go to a whisper. Did you look ahead to see what it said? That can be really helpful, that we're just quickly skimming ahead. But as soon as we see those dialogue marks, we skim ahead to see how we're supposed to say it, and then you can read it too.